video games with buddies and idiots. Let's get into it. Hello everyone. Welcome back to another video here in the channel Charles Morse. Please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to the channel Charles Morse. Please remember to keep the comments decent and offensive. If you're not subscribed to the channel Charles Morse, please hit that bell notification to get notifications when the channel uploads. So, yeah, idiots and buddies exist in video games. Especially in the video game chat room. But buddies, they are the type of people that I want to focus on. Because if your name is Bud, or some other comforting name, it can normally indicate that maybe that you are just a creep. That obviously would want to engage in conversations that are personal. Alright, you might start a conversation like a general hello, how are you? How's your day? That stuff. And somewhere around there, that has to be just personal talk. And yeah. You know why? You know why that they would do personal talk well? It has to be because, buddies just want to tickle their own ears. They want themselves to be entertained. And, you know, this is just, it does pain me and sicken me that these, creeps would just, you know, they would go to, like, such levels and get very personal about somebody else's life. If that happens, if that actually does end up happening, then whatever personal information that you give buddies, they'll go off and then they will start, you know, they would do absolutely everything they probably could, and they would start, you know, they'd start talking to their own buddies, and then probably just share the personal info of that specific person to the rest of their buddies. And I just gotta say, it's pretty dangerous. It's pretty dangerous. Yeah. So, you know, I don't have anything else to say about that. But if I found out that I was friends with a buddy, you know what, I'd be like, you know, you know, I would just be like, you know, I don't have time for this BS. You know, like, I don't have time for, like, I don't have time for, you know, doing that stuff. I mean, like, why would I waste my time talking about my personal life with creeps? Alright, I mean, Hey, it's only the only people that have the right to know about these things are your psychiatrist and your psychologist. Alright? And your family. That's the only person. Alright? Nobody else has the right to know about that. Alright? Nobody else has the right to know about, like, what was your favorite birthday cake? Or what was the favorite girl that you dated back in high school? And what was the hottest wife you actually had? Alright, like, none of that business is anybody else's. Alright, it's, you know, to be honest, it's their own. Alright, so I don't see what. I wouldn't even know or see the point in doing this. I just don't really see the point of this. Okay, really, it does drive me up a wall. Because, really, this does get overwhelming. It does drive me up a wall. Alright, why do I waste my time talking to creeps about my personal life? And again, it's my own business and the people that I trust. So, yeah. So, the problem of buddy buddies is they obviously have no idea how to shut their mouth. That's the problem. It's the one problem, and I'm just absolutely sick of it. Alright, why do they have to be this way? Alright, you know what? Buddy buddies could be, mentally unstable in the head, mentally retarded, and maybe, and they'd also not have the head screw on right. It's gotta be just obvious like that. Alright, so, yeah. So, yeah. That has to say a lot right there. If you have a head that's not screwed on right and don't know how to shut your mouth and that stuff, nobody's gonna find you likable. Everybody's gonna be thinking you're a big creep. And you know what? People they're not gonna find you very, very likable. So, do you know why people wouldn't find you very likable? Because you're annoying. Buddy buddies are annoying. It's nobody else's business to know about somebody else's personal life. But buddies, they don't care. All they care about is just having a good time. You know what? I just, you know, I just don't waste my time doing this. I just don't. I just don't. Why would I waste my time talking to a creep about my personal life? Why would I talk to buddies about my personal life? It's my own business and people that I trust. So if I were you, I would just, I would keep my mouth shut about somebody else's personal business. Alright? And stay away from having conversations with buddies and people that I'm uncomfortable being around and game chatting with. Alright? I don't mind playing games with buddies, but my goodness, I'm not going to game chat if all these buddies want to do is, do personal chats. Alright, I get sick of it, I get overwhelmed with it, and it's just something that, hey, I'm not going to put up with it. I'm not going to deal with this. No, I'm not going to deal with something that I'm actually get overwhelmed and tired of. Alright? So, there you go, right there. Why? You think I'm gonna put up this? You think I have time to put up with this? All the time? No, you know what? I'd actually get sick of this. I just don't want to be, dealing with this all the time. And besides, everybody knows how overwhelming it can be when you have to deal with people that are just, are stinking losers. And they don't even know how to grow up and get a life. Alright? That's just, it's, it's just how the world is. Alright, nobody knows how to grow up. Nobody knows how to get a life. And it's just the way that society is. Because, this is just one of the most stupidest societies that actually had been here on planet Earth. Alright, this is just one of the most stupidest. This is just one of the most stupidest. This is just, this is just so stupid. Alright? Yeah, you know what? Nobody even grows up, get a life, and just, act like how they are supposed to. There's nobody decent these days. Only some and a few people are decent. And they have general conversations, and they don't talk personal about anybody else's personal life. That's just, nobody to drive you up, nobody to back you in the corner and feel like you're being pushed behind a corner or anything like that. So, yeah. Those are the kind of people that I like being around. Not buddies and weirdos that talk about, talk to you about, personal. Alright, that just, it's just, it's just, it's just very, very stupid what these buddies do, and what these creeps do. And idiots, well, if I had to say anything about buddies, I'd have to say they're mentally unstable, and their head's not screwed on right. They're mentally retarded, and it's just, it's like, regardless of whether, hey, we live in America, bro, I get to talk about whatever I want. I have the freedom of speech to just talk about whatever I want. That stuff. Well, that may be so. But, yeah. Does it give you the freedom to talk about everybody else's personal life? No, I don't think so. You know what? People, don't really like that. People don't really like, personal talks. And people just they're very annoyed with it. Yeah. Why do you think that I'd be talking personal with these kind of people? Like I said, they don't grow up, they don't get a life, and they just don't even know how to act their age. If you encounter buddies in video game chat rooms or whatever, and they start talking personal, you need to just tell these people to just shut up and just leave them alone, or at least mute their microphone. That Nintendo Switch 2 has a block off of chat, so you don't even have to communicate with the people. And that's, I just like to be able to just, avoid chatting with that type of people, because, they're a bunch of weirdos. There's a bunch of buddies out there. There's a bunch of idiots out there in the real world, and they're gonna talk personal about your life, and before you know it, if you give them that personal information of yours, they're gonna go off and they're gonna tell everybody else, and that make you look like you're a total idiot. And then they will probably even know about you, which is probably even more dangerous, because then you're just basically selling your identity out to other people, in my opinion. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to the channel to try more. Again, please remember to keep your comment decent, not offensive. And yeah, I would just be careful of who you're talking to on video game chat rooms, because when their personal talks get out there, you need to tell them to shut up. And if buddies are going to be like, what are you talking about? It would indicate to me that, hey, this guy is mentally retarded. And, buddy buddies are just, people that are just stupid idiots. And they don't even know how to get a life. That'll be it for this video. Have a good day. I will see you all in the next one.